Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining Gabby and myself this beautiful afternoon. You know, there's an old saying in life, and it goes, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. And for Gabby and I, it has been a learning experience. We have tried so many approaches to this technology, but in the end, we did not let it beat us. And Gabby found a very elegant solution, and we're now going to record and share it later. So you are not watching us live, but trust me, it's just as good. So let me jump right in and explain why we decided to form this collaboration. Gabby Eckert and I have the strong belief that women should be empowered to put forward their best selves. Now, when you hear Gabby speak, you're going to hear all the tips and advice to presenting yourself in the most empowering, confident, and elegant, glamorous manner. For me, my passion is public speaking. I feel so many women lose the opportunity to speak up because they have no confidence in their public speaking skills. I'm not talking about speeches or major presentations. I'm talking about simple things where you believe in a cause, you want to step up and speak about a cause. Maybe you're an influencer, maybe you want to make YouTube blogs. Whatever you want to do that is your passion, business meetings, wine clubs, the more confidence you have in your public speaking skills, the more effective a communicator you will be. So today, we're hoping to jump in and share both sides of this coin for you, our wonderful guests. So I'm going to pass it back to Gabby, and she's going to pick it up from here.
Oh, wonderful, Jane. I am so excited for our presentation. So I am Gabby Eckert, and I am the owner of the Brave and Beautiful Boutique. I am also a personal stylist, and my mission is to help women feel beautiful and confident so that they can achieve their goals and show up powerfully in the world. And Jane, I am so honored to be doing this with you. Jane is a professional public speaking coach who takes everyday speakers and transforms them into confident and engaging communicators. She works with women at every level to develop their speaking skills in order to grow their careers, bring about change, and inspire others. So I am just looking forward to this, my friend. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in with my first tip for us today. Okay. And it has to do with our environment. So what is the ideal setup for your virtual meetings, your Zoom events, for your lives? What do we need to do to set ourselves up for success? So there's a couple things to consider. You want to consider the lighting of the room that you are in. Okay, so ideally you want to be in front of a window so that the natural light, the beautiful sunshine, is the best lighting we could have, is streaming on your face and it's diffusing the light very evenly. You don't want to put the window to your back because then you will seem backlit and you'll just kind of look like little eyes. We won't be able to really see you. So ideally, a tip that I have is you can actually take your cell phone, put the camera facing you and walk around, and you will be able to see the light on your face, and you'll be able to identify that beautiful natural light that you're looking for. If it is in dark where you are, or your meeting is in the evening, invest in a ring light. A ring light is fantastic for doing the same thing. It mimics the sun and diffuses that beautiful light over your face. You also want to consider your background. Make sure that there's nothing that you don't want seen passing by while you're on your Zoom call. Maybe you want to go into a room, put a no disturb sign. You also want to make sure that your background is clean and neat. And if you're in a pinch, Zoom and other platforms do have backgrounds that they allow you to upload so that people won't even see the background of your room that you're in. You also want to make sure that you are not in a noisy area. You want to be able to be heard, and you don't want any distractions, and you want to make sure that your Wi-Fi signal is good. Find a place where you know you will not have any problems with your internet connection. And then last but not least, this is a great tip. You want to make sure that your camera is eye level or slightly above. So right now I am on my laptop talking to my dear friend Jane, and I have quite a few books stacked on top of each other just to give me some of that height that I'm looking for, and so that I'm not being shot in a weird angle or in a way that I don't want to be. So pick your camera up, put it eye level or slightly above. And then Jane, I have a question for you. So from a public speaking point of view, could you share your top tips for both Zoom meetings and presentations?
Absolutely. Hi again, everybody. Okay, so everything's changed and nothing's changed. In our virtual world, so many of the things we did before continue, but we need to look at areas that we have to work on. The first thing when you get into a virtual platform, and I'm not talking just business, it can be anything. It can be social, your book club, whatever. Take a breath. Just take a breath and smile. You would do it when you walked into a room before, but somehow with the sheet of glass, people somehow forget and just launch straight in to what they're saying. That's the first thing. But if you remember nothing else, I need you to slow down. The whole point of communicating is to convey your message to somebody else. Otherwise, you're just a crazy person sitting in a room on your own talking. So in order for your audience to keep up with you, they need to be able to follow you. Because they don't have all the little cues and clues we have in face-to-face communication, you need to slow your messaging down to allow them to keep up. I cannot agree more with Gabby about eye contact and eye level of camera. Try to go for about 60 to 70% eye contact. It's high and it takes practice looking at that little light, but it does make you feel that you're looking at your audience feels they're looking at you. Very important. In any virtual setting, try to be concise. It is so difficult. What happens is in face-to-face settings, we had all the cues of the energy in the room. So if we rambled or digressed, people would shuffle, move around, maybe cough, and we'd think, oh, I need to get to the point. We don't have that in a Zoom room. So you need to ensure that you don't get interrupted by keeping your information concise. The people who speak to the point, clearly and coherently, suffer fewer interruptions than those who ramble. Avoid jargon. Jargon is not a big thing in my life. I don't like it. I think it weakens your message. And in the virtual setting, it could cause a listener to pause or hesitate for that split second, trying to figure out the buzzword if they're not familiar with it, and then you've lost them. So you don't do that. Last little tip, because public speaking is made up of both verbal and non-verbal, is try to remain as still as you comfortably can. Not a fake kind of, frozen in the headlights, but try to avoid distracting movements. If it's a necessary movement to pick up a glass of water, or we have coffee in some of our morning meetings, that's fine. But avoid rocking, swaying side to side, touching your face or your hair. You don't want to draw your eyes of your listeners away from the speaker onto someone who's shifting around. These are all things you can employ, and you can do them from your next meeting. Gabby?
Oh, Jane, those tips were so helpful, and thank you. I need to apply those right away, my friend. So a few styling tips for your Zoom call. First off, when you are thinking of an outfit to wear to your virtual event, you want to make sure that you are feeling beautiful and confident. You do not want to put a piece on your body that you are insecure about, because when we're going into these settings, we tend to have those butterflies and nerves anyway. We don't need that added insecurity of possibly not liking the way a shirt is laying on our body. In regards to color, pick a color you love, something that makes you feel very vibrant. You want something that could stand out from the background and help draw the attention to you. Also, some things to avoid. You may want to avoid wearing strapless tops, as depending on the height of your camera, that could appear inappropriate for reasons of perhaps not thinking that you have a top on. It's the truth. And also avoid overly flowy or baggy clothing, because that can give you the appearance of looking larger than you really are. A lot of women tend to also be insecure about their arms. And I think since the camera is from about here to the top, you're getting this form of your body, you want to pick a sleeve that makes you feel confident. Anytime you're drawing a horizontal line on the body, your eye will go there. So keep that in mind. Make sure it's a top that is a color that you love, that it is a sleeve that you feel confident and that you love. Pay attention to the neckline, make sure that it is appropriate, and try to stay away from those strapless or straight across necklines. Also, do your research, especially if you are going on an interview. Learn, what is the environment like? What's the atmosphere like? Are there pictures on the website of some of the coworkers or employees wearing something that maybe you can incorporate in your dress? Make sure that you're fitting into that cultural climate with your outfit. So I find it's always good to do a little bit of digging before you head on into your interview. Also, my biggest tip, and Jane, I am so shocked if this is even a thing, but wear pants. Please wear pants, people. There is this whole thing going on where people are not wearing pants to their Zoom and virtual meetings. And guys, it changes the energy subconsciously. You do not even realize. But my rule of thumb is the more important the event is, the more dressed up you should be. And not only should you be wearing pants, but what would happen if you accidentally had to get up or something happened in your environment where you needed to rise? So make sure that your bottoms, maybe they're not your polka dotted pajamas, but they are something that is professional and again, that you feel comfortable and good in. There is an energy and a feeling that goes along with what you wear. And we want to make sure that we are performing at our highest, especially in interviews. So dress in a way that reflects that. So Jane, I do have another question for you. So you had mentioned to me that you were still working with clients preparing for interviews. So I know this has changed in the virtual setting that we're in. How would you advise people to prepare for that?
Okay. Interviews. This is something I'm still working on with clients at the moment, and it's become, in this economic climate, even more heightened and even more important that people go into interviews feeling their best self, and as you said, being fully prepared. So what I ask clients to do at One Perfect Speech is I ask them to envisage taking what used to be a real world interview setting in somebody's office and transferring that behind the camera. So exactly as you said, if you would go to an interview as you would in professional clothes and pants and shoes with your hair done or whatever, you need to mimic that. You need to arrive at the virtual interview as though it was the real interview. Your mindset is then ready. You then have to carry it forward and think about if you were having a person-to-person interview, as we used to do, first, second round interviews, you would be sitting in the person's office. You would be sitting well, you would have good posture, chin parallel to the ground, shoulders relaxed, and you would be looking the interviewer in the eye. The one thing you cannot do is have an interview in a virtual setting with the camera at the wrong height, because you end up looking down your nose at the interviewer. And in our culture, to look down your nose at someone is a derogatory expression. So camera height is critical. You need to go in prepared as though it was the real room. You wouldn't go into an interview and lean on the table or sit like this on the chair. So don't do it when you're on camera. Now, the one lovely thing we have about the virtual world and interviewing is that we can prepare right up till the time you hit that click button and connect to the other person. So I advise clients who feel they have a little bit of extra energy, let's say nerves, maybe butterflies in their stomach, I say to them to burn that excess energy off beforehand, because all you're going to have to do is move over in front of your laptop and you're ready to go. So an hour before, half an hour before, do jumping jacks, walk the stairs in your house, go for a walk around the block, do something to burn off the excess energy so that the energy you've left with is just that good excitement, that passion to share how good you are. Don't have the butterflies in your stomach. Again, I'm going to get back to how you answer a question. Avoid rambling. The reason that we tend to ramble and digress is that once we finish speaking in an interview, the interviewer, you will come to an end and the live interviewer would lean forward and ask the next question. We have a bit of a lag in the virtual world. So people stop speaking, the interviewer doesn't respond, and they quickly jump in and try to fill the air with words because they don't want to sit with the dead air. Don't do that. Make sure your important points get up front and lead with that. But my little down and dirty technique and trick for interviews are these cards. My daughter introduced me to these. These are these colored cards. Take them, get your keynotes on them, just bullet points. You can stick them around the wall behind your laptop, around the camera. You can even attach them with sticky tape to the back of the lid of your camera, and they're there. So you can speak to the camera, refer a little bit to the notes, and come back. Avoid notes on the table. Avoid any period of time where you're looking down or looking away. That is my key tip for interviewing.
Wow, Jane. Oh, I needed those tips for myself. Thank you for sharing. That was wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and share about some quick outfit ideas that you can wear during your virtual events or your Zoom meetings. And I tried to come up with some ideas that most women would have in their wardrobe right now, as I know some of us are a little challenged with getting out and going shopping right now with everything going on. So before I actually go into picking out items, again, I want you to do your research, see the climate, the atmosphere, the overall vibe, see if there's any pictures that are available for you to see what is expected. Will you have a dress code? What are, maybe the place you're interviewing for has an Instagram account. Maybe go to Instagram and see, do they have photographs of workers or employees available to you so that you have some sort of direction, okay? But above all, like I've said before, you want to feel confident and at your best. So pick something you love and that you feel great in. Something that makes you look clean, professional, polished, and classy. So some ideas that I would recommend is a camisole and a blazer. Most women have that in their closet, and I think that it's very professional and easy. Just that that outfit patterned together is just fantastic. It's very sophisticated. And also, if you don't have those, don't worry. A button down that is I want to say not wrinkled, okay? It's not creased. It is well presented, and a blouse that is dressy, that makes you feel good, and also is not wrinkled, because that does show through on the camera, believe it or not. So make sure that your clothes are pressed and that they look great. And then again, make sure that your necklines are appropriate and avoid the strapless. Also, when you are thinking about your blouses, you may also want to be thinking about the halter tops, because in the way that it is structured on your body and the way that the angle of your camera is, it can make you seem a bit wider than you are. And again, with your sleeves, I know that some women are self-conscious there, so be careful where the horizontal falls on your arm. And one of the biggest things that I like to do is I like to go on Zoom or on my camera, set it up on a tripod, and just see, how do I look? Do I like the lighting? Do I like the angle that the camera is? Do I like my outfit? Sometimes the outfit may look fantastic in the mirror, but when you get in front of the camera, you're like, oh, this is not what I was hoping for. So give it a test. Also, I had mentioned the importance of wearing pants. Please do. Again, make sure it's appropriate and it matches your top. And I'm not saying that you have to go full out in a suit pants, but even if you're wearing jeans or a pair of black slacks or something that you feel comfortable in that matches somewhat your outfit, just in case you do have to get up unexpectedly. And also add some accessories. Have fun. Give some visual weight to the upper part of your body. Add some necklaces or a necklace, some earrings, and really draw the eye upward, and add makeup. Add makeup. You would be surprised what some makeup can do, especially some lip color to really brighten up your face, to help you shine and to feel vibrant on the camera. Sometimes the camera can make you look a little washed out, so adding that little extra than you normally do, but of course, feel comfortable, what you feel comfortable and confident in, it will really help and go a long way. So, Jane, as we wrap up, how would you advise us to grow our skills as a virtual public speaker?
Okay. Thanks for the question, Gabby, because it's so important that not only do we put our tips and tools into practice, but that we actually continue to improve. Even once business goes back to the way it was before, at whatever point, I do believe that the way that business is being conducted now will stick with us in many different aspects. So we may as well become very good at it. So let's assume you want to learn a new skill. Piano playing, public speaking. There are three key elements you have to tackle in order to improve. The first one is practice. You have to practice. If you practice something, you will get better at it. That we've got covered. I'm sure there are going to be people listening to us talking now who are probably in Zoom rooms for 5, 6, 7 hours a day. So we're doing the practice. But the practice has no value if we don't learn and grow from it. So the first thing you're going to do for yourself is you're going to self-evaluate and critique. So every time you're on a Zoom call or you're on a phone call or anything where you're presenting yourself, putting yourself forward, even as I say, if it's just a social group with friends, but you really want to up your game, record yourself. Record yourself and listen to yourself. Because as humans, we cannot speak and listen. We speak and we hear, but we cannot listen to ourselves. The moment you record and play it back, I guarantee you will pick up so many little things that you think, oh, I could tweak this. So have the self-awareness to evaluate and critique your performance and learn to grow. The second part of what you can do is feedback. Feedback is one of the most helpful and powerful tools you can use when you're trying to improve a skill. So what you do is you need to reach out to somebody else. So you're doing a big business presentation. You're going to address your team. You're going to give some big speech. If you feel confident, but you would still like to grow, reach out to somebody in the group, a friend, a colleague, someone you trust. Contact them beforehand and say, I'm really trying to grow my skills. Please, would you pay attention? And afterwards, can you tell me 2 things I did really well and 2 areas I can improve on? And then listen with open ears, listen to what they say and be prepared to make those changes. At my business, One Perfect Speech, I've offered the service for years. The other day, a client reached out to me. She's going to start a professional women's business book club. So it's a book club for women, but they're going to read and I presume evaluate business books to increase their skill set. Now she wants to introduce the first meeting. She wants to set the tone, probably talking 3 to 4 minutes. She did a beautiful speech. She took a video recording of it, bumped it over to me. I evaluated it, sent her back a full report, and we went back and forth. But you can do this with a friend. You can record yourself and send it to a trusted friend and say, how do I come across in this? It's one of the most powerful things you can do. To wrap up, I want to give one down and dirty tip that will improve your speaking from the next time. And this is to get rid of verbal tics. Verbal tics are filler words, crutch words, any word that we put in while we think our thoughts or to fill dead air. I challenge you tonight, watch any interview on television, and I guarantee 90% of the people, when they respond, will begin their response by saying, I mean, dot, dot, dot. Kick those out. Kick out all the verbal tics, and I guarantee you will polish up, clean up your language, and your communication will become much more clear, concise, and therefore elegant. Those are my tips.
Oh, lovely, Jane. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. So Jane, how can we connect with you further? And, you know, if we want to work with you or to continue to follow and get some more of that good content, where can we best get in touch with you?
Okay, I think, and I'm going to keep this very short, I have 2 key areas. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I have my LinkedIn profile is very current, up to date. And if you look every single Monday, I post a new public speaking tip that is immediately usable. My LinkedIn profile is under my personal name, Jane Patterson with 1 T. Otherwise, you can just go to my website. My business is One Perfect Speech. And if you go there, I am currently going to give a complimentary session to all our lovely viewers. So pop to my website. If you go down, you'll see an icon that says there, improve your public speaking. What could be simpler? If you click on there, there's a red button. It says schedule a time to talk. schedule me on Calendly. I will reach out to you, and then we can have a 30-minute session on any topic of public speaking you wish to work on. Interview technique, general public speaking skills, whatever works best for you. I'm happy to do that for anyone who came here. But those are my best ways to get hold of me. And Gabby, how do we follow up with you? How do people find out more about everything you're doing in your boutique? And I think I heard you say you also had a little complimentary something for our guests.
Yes, I do. So if you would go ahead into Instagram, my handle is at Gabby Eckert. Go to the link in my bio, and there you will see a free complimentary personal styling strategy session. And we can go and talk about all of your wardrobe goals and needs, as well as any styling tips, anything that you may have questions about. You'll leave this session with tips you can implement right away. And you will also find my website, gabbyeckert.com, in the bio as well. And I tend to hang out a lot on that platform, so I would love to have you guys join me over there.
Okay. And Gabby, would you just spell your last name for us, just so people are totally clear on that?
Jane, absolutely. I didn't think about it. So it's Gabby, Gabby, and then Eckert, Eckert.
Thank you. You know, so often we miss opportunities because our surnames are so familiar to us, we don't want to share them. I just wanted people to be able to get to the exact Gabby Eckert to take the most benefit of all your amazing offers. I mean, we can see into your boutique right now, so we need to be part of this. We all need to be part of this.
Oh, thank you so much, Jane. And thank you for sharing your tips. They have helped me so much, especially as an entrepreneur. We're always in front of the camera, going live, putting out content. And I have to admit, I've done a lot of the things you advise not to do. So this really, really helped me. And I appreciate you being here, friend.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's about it for this afternoon. I don't have anything more to add. I'm sorry we didn't do the Facebook Live, but we'll get this sorted out and watch the space. I'm sure there's going to be lots of more great information to come.
Absolutely. Goodbye, guys. Have a wonderful day.